On May 14th, we met with Dr. Carlene Scherer. She got her pilot's license in 1979. She was stationed in Germany as a volunteer for the Red Cross and earned her doctorate at age 64.
I think I was born, I lived on Long Island when I first started. I think Mother had me in New York, but I was living out on Long Island in a fancy estate on Long Island Sound.
Nice. Yeah, I've been there. It's nice there.
Yeah.
And what was the year that you were born?
Can I cheat on that?
Unfortunately, no.
1935, February 12th, 1935.
When you were a child, what was it like? How was the USSR portrayed?
My father was in the Navy. My stepfather was in the Army. I don't think of it much being portrayed. You know, it was something the families did, the men did. My father had always been on a boat, always been sailing all his life, and he was very upset because he was on a huge Navy ship, but when that was not in charge. Then my stepfather was a colonel in the Army, and he was stationed in Washington, and it was a difficult time. He was a colonel, and he was doing all this stuff, and us as kids really weren't let know anything about what was going on. We couldn't get any news about what was really happening, and later on, as far as military, but after the war was over, my first husband was in the Army, and we were stationed in Germany not long after the war, 1954, for 2 years, and that was quite an experience. And I thought the Germans would all hate us, but the war, there was still so much damage in Germany and everything and they were actually very kind to us.
Can you say where in Germany?
Frankfurt am Main in Germany, Frankfurt. And it's a wonderful city, but a lot of it was bombed out when we were living there. A lot of it still was. And I think about the times there, it was a kind of difficult time for us to be there, because I thought one of the times my husband was in the military in Germany, and he got a week off, and we went to southern Germany, Baden-Baden, which is the spa area you can go. He had 1 week off the military. We went down there for a week, and we were driving home at 2 o'clock in the morning, so it gets back on duty on time, and we had 2 flat tires on the Autobahn, and this is 1955, I guess. And we realized that someone had sliced our tires when we were down on vacation, so they didn't want to, some of them really hated having Americans around, especially military around. And they sliced our tire, but this guy stopped to help us at 2:30 in the morning, and he went over to the town next to the highway, woke up people, got a car fixed, got us new tires. This is 3 o'clock in the morning, and I was about 20 years old. I was in tears, and you're so kind to us, and I didn't think you could do that. And he said, well, I'm very happy with Americans. I love them very much. And I was like, wow. And he said, well, I was a prisoner of war for several years in Texas, but they were so kind to me, and they really, I'll never forget that, being in a prison of war in Texas, America, that they were so kind to me as a German. And so he wanted to be helpful to us. That's rather amazing to have a guy. It was a wonderful experience. It had me practically in tears when I thought about it.
Yeah. And did you ever go to the communist side of Berlin, or was...
Well, yes, actually, when we were in Frankfurt from there, I did go to the communist side, but when we were there is when they were building the wall. And since I was, the wall between East and West Germany, and all the people that were trying to get out of the East, out of the West, and get loose and not get trapped behind the wall, and I was on the Red Cross, and I was trying to help them get places to live on the East, on the other side, and it was a little hard for a lot of Germans to be.
Yeah, and the people you met there, what were they like during that time, trying to get across?
Frantic, desperate. They didn't want to be trapped behind a wall for the rest of their lives, and they didn't want to be in that communist half of the thing.
I heard it was fairly impoverished there.
Yes, very, very. And I was, as I said, a volunteer for the Red Cross and everything. We had to supply them with food and all sorts of things all the time.